daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Premier League podcast. It is Thursday, the 11th of December. My name's Ken Davis, fresh from my holiday in Gran Canaria. His name is Nick Britton, fresh from a day at the office. And this is the Daily Premier League podcast. Very warm welcome to all of you who make listening to this podcast part of your regular podcasting listening experience. You're very, very welcome. Nicholas, how are you?
I'm very well. It seems quite a long time since we were in the hot seats together, doesn't it? Because we had all those issues with Cloudflare last week, which meant we couldn't publish it.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, that was painful, wasn't it?
Well, we were recording pretty much every day, and we just couldn't publish them. And it's the same with the Road to World Cup. So, and the Road to World Cup one that we did on Saturday morning, by the way, we couldn't even publish. We couldn't do anything with it. We had to scrap it altogether. So,
got to do it again, then. Maybe you've got to do it again.
Well, we've got a lot of effort into doing it. I think maybe because it was all around the qualifiers and this and the other. Maybe.
I think we should do that still. Some interesting stuff come out of that.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, it's moved on a bit because after we did that, sort of since we did that, the all the venues and everything have been released, so we know who's playing where and this, that, and the other. So great.
Well, we can we'll add to it. We'll make it even better than it was, and it was winning the Pulitzer Prize.
It was a good one. No, it was a good one. To be fair, yeah.
Go and check out Road to World Cup 26, the only podcast. It's been doing every single team as they qualify, and we'll carry on. We've got an agenda all the way through to the start of the World Cup. It's looking really, really exciting. Right, today it is prediction day.
I must say this though. The last episode that was published, which was the week before last, was the Croatia episode, and we had all those problems with the sound, and I think it was probably the precursor to what happened last week.
Yeah, I think so.
And there's a hell of an echo on it, so I actually probably need to take that down. So if you want
to take Croatia, I've already added Croatia into the list of ones we still got to do.
Yeah, I'm going to take that down. So if you do listen to Croatia one, look, enjoy it, but it's got a real echo on it. But we're going to do that again. So
yeah, I think so. But anyway, we're all sorted now. That's all sorted. The technical bugs have been sorted out. It's prediction day ahead of match week 16 in the Premier League. That was a very busy week last week. Man City have pegged Arsenal back to a lead of just 2 points. Villa continue their extremely impressive resurgence. And Mo Salah has been thrown under the number 51 from P ahead, I understand. I think that's what he's referring to. He's thrown under the bus. Before we get on to the predictions, there's a lot to talk about the Salah thing. Liverpool have just been a running story all year, of course, which is part of the problem. What's your take on the Salah situation? Interested in your view on that.
Well, I think he's thrown himself under the bus. I think he's done himself a Nuno, whereby he has instigated his own exit out of Liverpool with an absolutely needless and pointless rant, trying to get at Arne Slot at his most vulnerable. And I think it's backfired on him massively.
Yeah, I think it has. I haven't heard anybody, any of the pundits, any of the fans I know, defending Salah. I think they've all said he's gone too far. This, by the way, I should say, was in the Norwegian media, where he essentially was talking about the fact that he's been made the scapegoat. Really, he's been made to take the blame for all the ills of Liverpool. That's how he feels. Actually, I haven't heard that a great deal. People have commented on Salah's performance, rightly, but I don't think anybody has said, actually, all of this is down to do with Salah. It's because he's not. Most of it's an issue with defence.
Well, also, he's been playing. He's been playing in this team that's had a wretched run, and he's not been contributing either in attack or defence. And I made the point on the podcast the other day that, look, if you're a striker and you're not scoring, or a wide player and you're not creating or scoring, then the very least you can do is work hard and help your teammates out. And he doesn't really do that either. He doesn't track back, doesn't have the fullbacks out, doesn't really drop into midfield. So he's absolutely right to be dropped. And his reaction to that, after a couple of games on the bench, I just thought was so childish.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose, and part of this, I think, is this. He's always been the main man. He's always been the superstar at Liverpool. There's been a bit of a change this season. Florian Wirtz has come in. He seems to be, although he's not done a great deal, he seems to be the pivot. He seems to be the future of the Reds, if you can put it that way. Things are being shaped around Wirtz. Whether that's justified or not is another question. But they do seem to be being shaped around him, and that has thrown all the other dominoes out of sync a little bit, and Salah included. I mean, do you think that change, think that shift in emphasis around Wirtz has been a factor?
It doesn't really play in Salah's position though, so it shouldn't be. And let's face it, the opening quarter of the season, Wirtz wasn't taking Salah's place. He wasn't playing well. Wirtz, he wasn't doing much. So Salah had every opportunity to take the ball by the horns, step up, and be the main man, but he didn't.
No. It's almost, and it often happens, of course, as soon as he gets the new contract, there's a lot of argument, a lot of discussion, a lot of toing and froing on the contract, 2 years, 3 years, all those kind of things. Ever since that was signed, he's just been a different player and literally not as effective. That seems to have been a factor.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And look, I just can't reconcile any player who says, "Oh well, because of all the things that I have done for this club," and he has been a brilliant player for Liverpool.
250 goals.
He's fantastic for the Premier League. He's been brilliant on every single level. He's been superb. But that doesn't justify saying that, well, because I've done all of that, I don't, I deserve an automatic starting place. Football
that seems to be the implication, doesn't it?
Well, it's not the implication. It's what he said. He actually said it.
It is what he said. I've earned my place. I don't need to keep earning it effectively.
Well, yeah, exactly that. I've earned my place by past glories. Therefore, I don't need to earn it now, is what he said. And what does that say to players like Chiesa and other players who are on the bench trying to wait for their time? What does it say about Liverpool? What does it say about football? If you have a player who thinks that he's just got every right and an automatic right to a starting spot, regardless of how he trains, regardless of how he performs. So dropping him was the only possible thing Slot could do, and he was right to do it.
Yeah, that kind of thing you can get away with when the team is top of the league by 8 points and sailing and cruising and winning every game 3-0. It works. Doesn't work when you're in the kind of form that Liverpool are in. So, interesting. Do you think he's played his last game, by the way, for Liverpool?
Well, there's one game, isn't there? There's one game left.
There's one game this weekend.
At Brighton, and on Saturday, and then he goes to AFCON.
Yeah.
So it's a home game.
Yeah.
Therefore, it would be a great opportunity for him to have a send-off. My question to you, Ken, is what message does that give if Arne Slot brings him back after he was exiled from the trip to Inter Milan, which, by the way, Liverpool won. That was a perfect sort of result for them. It was a perfect moment for them. I kind of think, well, why would you bring him back?
I wouldn't.
If I was a manager, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. I might let him trot on after 75 minutes when you're 2-0 up. See you later. But after that appearance, and we go to AFCON, do you think in January he's gone, or do you think he's
I think he's played his last game. I think he's played his last game for Liverpool.
He started his last game, hasn't he?
There's no way back long term after what he said, and neither should there be. And therefore, if you bring him back on Saturday after having dropped him from the squad entirely on Tuesday, you are just pandering to his wants and his needs. And I think the club, particularly a club like Liverpool, needs to show that they are bigger than any one player.
Yeah. Who's going to take him? I can't see a Premier League team taking him.
The assumption is he's going to go to Saudi.
I can imagine he'll go to Saudi.
That's where he was going to go. In all of that willy won't-he saga when he signed the new contract with Liverpool. Now, interestingly, I heard somebody on the radio just today saying, well, actually, the Saudi Pro League, they don't like being spurned by players, and you don't really get a generally second chance. And actually, he might not be as welcome as he was this time last year when they were wooing him for the first time.
Oh, I think as a bargaining position, I think the power balance has shifted away from Salah.
Yes, I think it has. But equally, they need a big name there. It looks like Ronaldo's going to retire, and they need somebody to step up. What they might not be prepared to do, though, is pay him as much as they might have done this time last year.
Not at his age. I think that's very true. Okay, interesting stuff. We're going to go on to predictions now. But as we know in football, as Mo Salah knows, it pays to get your team selection right. And here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery partner. And we chose Zencastr. And Zencastr makes it easy to bring your vision to life. Share it with your audience wherever they may be. It's got 4K video recording. It's got easy AI editing tools. It's got top-tier distribution tools as well, and they're all in one place. So if you've got a story to tell it with Zencastr. You can check the show notes for more details.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Okie dokie, it's my favourite time of the week where we get to do the predictions. Nick has, I think Nick's probably won the last two, so we better put a stop to that this week. And we're going to start off, obviously, on Saturday. Chelsea play Everton. Chelsea at home. Chelsea in 5th. Everton in 7th. Chelsea not 1 in 3. So they're going through a bit of a sticky patch. 0-0 against Bournemouth. And we'll come to Bournemouth. Bournemouth are not in great form. Everton have won 4 in 5. So it's an interesting one. Nick, home, draw or away?
I think Chelsea's form just seems to have dropped off a cliff again. They are like a roller coaster, Chelsea, aren't they?
Unpredictable.
They're either winning games in a series or losing games in a row. They haven't. If you include, I mean, they lost obviously against Atalanta in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
So that's 4 games now without a win. 3 in the league. Draw with Arsenal, defeat by Leeds, draw away at Bournemouth. Cole Palmer's back in the team, and bizarrely they're kind of not playing well. Can't work them out. I can't work them out. Everton with a very good and well-deserved 3-0 victory against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, they were
last time out, which followed a really good 1-0 away win at Bournemouth. So they are, which I know they're 7th, but they were 5th for a little while, and that's heady heights, isn't it? That's heady heights.
It is for Everton. They haven't been 5th for a long time.
Yeah, they're on good form. So this is a hard one to call, actually. I think I fancy Everton to get something out of it because I think they'll go there with confidence. Chelsea, they're going through one of those dips in form. So I'm going to go draw.
Draw for Nick. I'm saying it's a home win. I think, Everton are decent. Bournemouth, if they want to get who they beat recently, I mean, we'll come to it. Bournemouth are terrible. They've got 2 points out of the last 18. Bournemouth are really reverting to the mean, as we like to say. Global Sports Podcast Network Towers. I think Chelsea is going to be too strong at home. Everton aren't brilliant away; they are much better at home. So, and it's a long way from Everton to Chelsea. So we've got two of the bingo numbers ticked already in the first one. So I'm going for a home win. Right. Okay. Mo Salah's last appearance probably ever for Liverpool. Liverpool are down in 10th these days. Brighton at the dizzy heights of 8th. Liverpool managed to conjure up a 3-3 draw with Leeds, threw that away again.
Touching a draw from the jaws of victory.
Yeah. So Liverpool have won 1 in 5. Brighton have won 3 in 6, so Brighton in decent form. What do you reckon? Salah hat-trick, last 10 minutes.
I like Brighton away from home. I do. I like Brighton away from home. I think they play well. I fancied them for this game. I'm going to go for an away win.
Brighton are going to win away at Liverpool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that an element of surprise?
Okay. Maybe I'm living in the past, but I just think Liverpool are going to be too strong for them.
Mate, you hate Liverpool. You've been moaning about them all season.
Yeah, but they decent win in the week. I think confidence a little bit higher. I think Slot's done the right thing. I know it was horrible against Leeds, but for a long period of time in that game, they were decent. I just think the crowd's gonna just push them on for actually a reasonably handsome victory. And of course, it's a long way from Brighton to Liverpool.
It is a long way from Brighton to Liverpool, but they travel well.
They do travel well. They do travel well. So, interesting, you've gone away when I've gone 2 homes. I'm feeling good about this so far. Burnley, 19th, lost 6 straight against Fulham, who have won 3, lost 3 in the last 6. But both teams lost 2-1 last week. Fulham look all right, don't they?
Yeah, I
Burnley have gone, I think.
yeah, Burnley are in that horrible little period whereby lose sort of 3 or 4 more games, and the season could be over by the time they get a chance to strengthen in the transfer window. They've got to pick up points against Fulham. They've got to pick up points. Fulham aren't great away from home.
No, they're not. They're a home team.
There's an opportunity here for Burnley.
This would be a game that Burnley would have marked and said we can get 3 points out of that.
They've got to get something out of this game. Ideally, they've got to win the game. I don't think there's enough in them to win it, but I can certainly see a point apiece, and that's what I'm going for.
Okay, I am going for a home victory. Simply because, for the points you've made, Fulham not great away. Burnley is kind of turning into a must-win. I think this is it for Burnley.
Just because it's a must-win doesn't see they will win.
No, it doesn't. But I just think they will go at this probably slightly more aggressively and on the front foot than maybe in some other games that they've played. They're not easy to score against. They're not as good as they were last year, obviously. But I just think it'll turn out that way.
They've not kept a clean sheet for a long time.
No.
Looking at the last 5 games, they let in a goal against 2 against Newcastle, 1 at home to Palace and 1-0, 3 away at Brentford, 2 at home to Chelsea. They let in 3 at West Ham.
Yeah.
There's no sense that they're strong at the back at all.
So, home win.
Well, according to you, yeah.
Home win. Now, you've gone draw, away, draw. If you go draw or away for the next one, you're fired, essentially.
Oh, well.
And I can't even fire. I'll get some fines I'm going to fire. Arsenal in first place against Wolves in 20th. Arsenal lost last week, obviously, against Villa, but Wolves managed one of their worst performances, losing 4-1 at home to Man United.
I'm gonna jump in here, Ken. I'm gonna jump in.
No way you're going to say draw for this.
Wolves have got to get something out of this game. They have to. They've got 2 points. They've got to get something out of this game. That's the good news for them. The bad news for them is that they've got 0 chance of doing so.
Correct.
The reason I want to jump in is because I'm going to tick one off your bingo card here, Ken, and say this is the ideal get-right game for Arsenal.
It is the ideal get-right game for Arsenal.
If you're struggling a little bit with injuries and you've lost a game to a team high up in the table in the last seconds and all of that, what do you want? What do you need? What do you need in the league? You need to be home at Wolves in your next game.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I think the weird thing is, I don't think Wolves are as terrible as people think. Because of what I've seen of them, they do offer a bit of a threat. Arsenal, I think, are going through a shaky period. Obviously, they're affected by injuries as well. They are only 2 points clear now of City. City are breathing heavily on their heels. It's not a formality, but
don't mix your metaphors. If they're breathing heavily, they're doing so down their neck, or they're hot on their heels. They're not breathing heavily down on their heels. That doesn't make sense. All
right. Okay, they're hot on their neck, but I won't. I don't think this is going to be a 6-0. But yeah, they're just going to have too much in the end.
It doesn't need to be. No, I don't think it will. I think Wolves will just put 11 men behind the ball. Arsenal will try and break them down. They'll have 98.7% possession and win the game 2-0 or something. Won't it? It'll be one of those.
Sounds about right. Right, game of the weekend, I think, for me, this. Palace in 4th, who have reawoken their mojo against City, who have them. Do you reawaken a mojo?
No, you don't. Can you please just put your teeth in?
No. I'm just going to use lots of different mixed up sentences for the rest of the episode. And City, who are... never lost their mojo. So Palace have won 4 in the last 6. City have won 5 in the last 6. Both teams look back to their best. Palace at home can be amazing, dominant. City we say they've won 5 out of 6, but they can be a little bit inconsistent. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, a brilliant win at Real Madrid in the week, by the way, for Manchester City.
Yeah,
brilliant win for them. They're back up and running. The interesting thing about City is they have indeed reawoken their mojo, or got their mojo back, as most people will normally say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Haaland just scoring the goals. He hasn't scored. I mean, he did it, to be fair, he scored against Madrid, but he's having a bit of a drought in the league. He hasn't scored more.
Yeah, Foden's made up for it, though, hasn't he?
Well, that's my point. That's my point. Foden's sort of form, and actually not just Foden, but the form of one or two others.
Okay.
And when Haaland was on that massive hot streak, what teams started doing is essentially just putting 3 players on him. And that kind of was okay because Man City didn't have anybody else to score goals at that stage. But what that's done is now that's allowed other players to come into form and score goals. Yeah. So teams now can't do that against Haaland anymore because they've now got 3 or 4 other players to worry about. So they do look like they are coming right back into it, Man City. I've got a feeling they'll beat Palace on Sunday. I've got a feeling they're starting to build up a real head of steam.
Yeah, they're going to. It's a 2-horse race for me actually at the moment. I think it will be for the rest of the season. So I'm going to put you down for an away victory there then.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Selhurst is a very difficult place to go. I would say that Man United won there a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? So it can't be that hard. But I don't know. Mateta's not scoring with as much regularity as he was earlier in the season. He's missing some big chances.
Reversion to the mean. That's
a massive loss for Palace. It's going to be hard for them. I fancy City for a narrow win. It'll be a narrow win, though. Okay.
I don't. But I don't see Palace winning. I'm going to go for a draw. I can see it quite a high-scoring draw. I think it'll be a 2-2 or something like that. So I think honours will be even. I think 2 great teams playing the can't top football. You're right about Mateta's not scoring so many. Sarr's playing well though. I think for Palace. I think there's. I think it'll be honours even.
They haven't beaten Man City at home, Palace, for 10 games. Alan Pardew was in charge.
Eventually, I mean, they're not going to beat him this time. I don't think. I think it'll be a draw. 2 strong teams.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get into the next batch of Premier League games, Global Sports Podcast Network is partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body is unique, and because without knowing what deficiencies you have, if you take off the shelf supplements, might mean you're not getting enough of the nutrients you need. Maybe too many of the ones you don't need. Now, Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements which are designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right level. So click the link in the show notes, use the code GSPN2025. You'll get 40% off your first order.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Okay, last 5 games of the weekend. First one, Forest against Spurs. Forest in 17th, Spurs in 11th still somehow. Forest somewhat resurgent, but obviously a fairly heavy defeat at Everton recently, whereas Spurs won 2-0 against Brentford. I've got a downer on Spurs, everybody knows that. I've got slight less downer on Forest. How do you see this one working out, Nick?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, thank you. Moving on to the next one.
Because these are 2 of the most unpredictable teams in the league.
They are all over the place, aren't they?
But it's really difficult. Nobody thought Forest to get tanked by Everton the way they did on the back of a small, minimal victory against Wolves, 1-0. And then,
Forest won 3 and 5, though. I mean, Forest have won.
They've won 3 and 5, but that includes beating Wolves, and that doesn't count. They've lost 2 out of the last 3. I think that's more indicative.
Spurs only won 1 in 6.
Yeah,
but it was the last one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? You go first.
All right, I'll go first on these last 5. I'm going to go for a Forest home victory, only because I've just got this massive downer on Spurs. I just don't believe in Spurs. Every time I see them, I just think they're rubbish.
But they weren't against Brentford. They played well.
Yeah, but Brentford have lost 4 in 6. Brentford aren't the team they went at the start of the season.
And away from home, they are wretched. Their away form's terrible this season.
Yeah.
All their points are coming at the G-Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that massive a victory.
I don't know. I think that's fair. I'm minded to agree with you.
Wow.
And bear in mind, Tottenham are playing today as well, aren't they? Bear in mind, it's Thursday today. They're playing today in the Europa League.
Home victory?
Home victory, yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, next one. I'll go first on this one. What a game! It's probably second favourite game of the weekend. Sunderland lost 3-0 to Man City last week. No great shame in that. Newcastle beat Burnley 2-1. Sunderland, they've only won 1 in 6. They're probably going the kind of, I won't even say reverting to me. Oh, I said it. And Newcastle have won 3 out of the last 4. So Newcastle are at last finding a little bit of form. But the Stadium of Light will be absolutely rocking at the weekend. So I am going for a draw.
Yeah, I just had a massive brain fart. Tottenham they're in the Champions League, aren't they? Not in the Europa League.
Yeah.
They won the Europa League last year, and they're in the Champions League. Yeah. Sorry, apologies to Tottenham fans who are shouting, going, "What is this clown talking about?" Ridiculous thing.
They've stopped doing that, Nick.
I know, but it still means they played this week. Forest, I presume, are playing today because they are in the Europa League. I'm going to have a look at who they're playing today. Because these things have an effect. Yeah, they're away. They're playing at the moment. Actually, they're away at Utrecht. Sorry, I'm still can't make up my mind.
Are we on Forest Spurs now?
Yeah, we're back on Forest Spurs. So I haven't quite left this because it's in my brain now.
Okay.
I'm still not sure because Forest.
Because there's a lot riding on this, of course. There's a Mars bar at stake at the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Yeah, we'll go at home with it. Yes, sorry.
Good. Sunderland, Newcastle. I think that's a draw.
I think this is the game of the weekend. By the way, I think this is the game of the weekend by some distance. I know you said Palace Man City was, and I can see why you said that. But actually, Sunderland versus Newcastle is in the Premier League. By the way, I know they played each other in the FA Cup a couple of years ago, but in the Premier League is huge. Huge. Sunderland's home form is terrific.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Newcastle's away form is terrible. I mean, up until when they had that really bizarre, out of the blue 4-1 victory against Everton away from home a couple of weeks ago, which nobody expected. And there was a lot of pressure building up on before that game on Eddie Howe in terms of their form. It's going to be a febrile atmosphere at the Stadium of Light. It is going to be nuts. This game. It's going to be the game of the weekend.
Newcastle played yesterday, didn't they?
Newcastle played yesterday, lost. No, drew 2-2.
Drew 2-2, threw it away at the end, really.
They did, yeah. I fancy Sunderland for this.
Don't tell the missus.
No, I don't. See, it's quietly. I fancy them because it's at the Stadium of Light. That's the only. I think there's nothing between the two teams. They are, what point between
3 places, about a point, yeah.
But Sunderland's home form compared to Newcastle's away form. I mean, you might tick off the old cliche: form goes out the window.
It does. We've seen that before, haven't we?
And the matchup between Guimaraes and Granit Xhaka is going to be fascinating.
That'd be good to watch.
Are there going to be 11 players per side on the field at the end of it? Not sure, because when you've got the likes of Joelinton and players like that and Xhaka, they've got short fuses. Yeah, I just wonder in the last 15 minutes of the game, when Sunderland generally come on strong at home, they might nick it.
Putting you down for a home win. Might have a chance to change it. Right. Another interesting game. West Ham against Aston Villa. It should be a walkover, really, but I don't think it will be. West Ham in 18th. They drew 1-1 with Brighton last time out. Villa who will be high-fiving complete strangers, winning 2-1 against Arsenal. Villa have won 5 straight. I mean, they are absolutely rocking. But to be fair, West Ham have only lost 1 in 6. I don't think the Olympic Stadium almost counts as a home venue, does it? It's such a horrible venue to play in. But West Ham v Villa, I personally, I can't. If there's going to be a win, it's going to be Villa. I'm going for an away.
I think so. I mean, look, they're playing tonight away at Basel, so they've got a game Thursday night. West Ham have had more time to prepare for this one. They are getting better. I think Nuno's doing the right thing.
He is.
As much as 3 draws and a victory in the last 5 games is a pretty good return.
Keeping it simple,
and he's making them. He's doing what Rob Edwards at Wolves can't do, which is start tightening it all up at the back, making them harder to score against, and then which is, by the way, is exactly the right approach, because then you start building from the back, and then you try and improve yourselves up front, and then we've got the transfer window coming up. So kudos to Nuno. I think he's doing a good job at West Ham, but I think Villa at the moment are just going to be too strong for them. It's going to be too strong for them. They're flying. They're playing with such confidence, and Rodgers is playing back to his best. Tielemans, I think, is back to his best. Buendia's chipping in the goals. Marlon's chipping in the goals. Ollie Watkins got a couple the other day.
Yeah, Watkins looks like he's coming back into form.
Yeah, so I think they're just going to be too good.
Okay, I'll put you down for an away victory, same as me. Another interesting game, this Brentford against Leeds. Leeds have got to be buzzing after the 3-3 that they managed to get out of Liverpool, though that isn't perhaps the result it was a year ago. Brentford lost against Spurs, as we talked about earlier. Brentford have lost 4 in 6, including the last 2. Leeds had 4 straight defeats before the 3-3 with Liverpool. Leeds are in the middle of an extraordinarily difficult run that we've pointed out for the last few weeks here. Brentford against Leeds. Brentford haven't got great away form, but Brentford are playing at home. Leeds haven't got great away form. They're decent at home. I think Brentford will just have too much. I'm going for a home victory.
Yeah, the one thing I think that they have in common is the disparity between home and away form. I mean, Leeds, they've got 3 points out of their 7 away games. They've lost 6 of those.
Yeah.
They've won 1, lost 6 away from home. Brentford's home form is good. I think they'll be too strong for them. Thiago particularly at home scores goals, and Brentford are a good match, I think, for anybody at the GTEC. So I think this will be a home win. Correct
answer. And final one, and I think we may be in a similar territory here. Man United obviously won 4-1 at Wolves. That isn't an amazing result. Chelsea 0-0 with Bournemouth, last time out for Bournemouth. Man United have only lost 1 in 6. Bournemouth have not won in 6. They've only got 2 points out of their last 18. Man United, 6th place now. They're bubbling nicely, I think, after a pretty horrendous start. Bournemouth, 13th now. After an amazing start for Bournemouth, I think they're getting closer to their natural position, which is probably 14th, 15th. I can't see anything past a Man United victory.
No, I agree. I think for all the reasons you just said, their forms are heading in opposite directions. I think at the moment.
Okay. So I've gone there for 7 home wins, 2 draws and an away. You've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 home wins, 2 draws and 3 aways. Brave. We should probably change this. You should get more points for an away prediction being right than a home prediction right.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll change it for next season. Anyway, or maybe in the new year.
We'll change it. I'll tell you when we'll change it, mate.
Not now.
Change it when you realise you are losing, because that's what you always do.
Oh, yeah, I change the rules, don't I?
You always change the rules to benefit yourself when you're losing, to allow yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And I think we're about level so far. So we don't need to change the rules.
Triple points for anybody wearing a check shirt tonight.
Yeah. Anybody with any Welsh descendants gets automatically double points.
Well, that's not you, so we're all right.
Right. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Nick, for your wisdom, your guile, your your general camaraderie.
Mate, it's been a pleasure as always. It's good to have the team back. It seems
the 18.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a while through no fault of our own, through technical issues that are not of our doing. So it's good to be back with you.
And I was on holiday. That was a technical issue.
Oh yeah, you were on holiday.
It was of my doing. Brilliant. Okay, thanks everyone for listening. Enjoy the weekend. I hope your team wins, and we'll see you next time.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.